Happiness and how it relates to our well-being. What is happiness? Happiness is a state of well-being characterized by emotions ranging from contentment to intense joy. Happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. What is well-being? Simply put, well-being is a combination of our happiness and life satisfaction. Subjective well-being, also known as hedonic well-being, is defined as people's evaluation of their lives, encompassing both cognitive judgments of satisfaction and affective appraisals of moods and emotions. What is well-being? Simply put, happiness and well-being. So, how does happiness affect our well-being? Higher levels of happiness are linked to higher levels of optimism, have a positive effect on our subjective well-being, how we view things, encourage positive social interactions, encourage us to pursue our goals, can reduce blood pressure and heart disease risks, relieve pain and inflammation, and lower the risk of stroke. Happiness and evolution. There are many discrepancies between our ancestral and modern environments that reduce our quality of life. A few of these things are our ability to synthesize drugs, depletion of our ozone layer, massive urban metropolis living, medical ailments caused by processed foods, and unreasonable societal expectations. All of these things have an impact on our well-being, from pollution to drug treatments, breakdown of the nuclear family model, cancers, stresses, etc. We need to find ways to combat these problems so we can increase our happiness and well-being by decreasing our exposure to negativity. Individualism. Here in the United States, we live in an individualistic culture. Those in individualistic cultures are taught to pride themselves on their independence and personal identities, place a great emphasis on personal achievements, place greater concern on the rights of each individual versus the group. In contrast to our individualistic culture, collectivistic cultures pride themselves on their generosity, attentiveness to others' needs, interpersonal harmony, and stable, long-lasting relationships. Individualism was first used to describe the negative influence of individual rights on the well-being of the Commonwealth. Social connection. Social connection is one of the most robust predictors of well-being. Positive social relationships promote well-being. Many adults thriving in life achievements are still not happy, most likely due to a lack of adequate social support. Participants in the United States that were instructed to actively pursue happiness reported worse emotional outcomes than those not actively seeking happiness. The perception of having available emotional, social support from close others appears to account for much of the effect of social support on stress. So, we know that successful social relationships are imperative to our well-being as humans, so why are we still promoting individualism in our country? How can we use these collectivistic ideas to improve our own well-being? Economics of happiness. Surprisingly, or not so surprisingly, rates of depression are higher in more economically developed cultures. Our psychological well-being is greatly influenced by our social relationships. Being a valued member of an enduring social group, being enmeshed in a network of extended kin, and maintaining deep intimate contact with others. Collectivism implies that a group membership is a central aspect of identity. A path toward happiness. Given the importance and long history of positive emotions and happiness, surprisingly little has been done to incorporate techniques to specifically enhance positive emotions in treatment. Why do we spend so much time focusing on the things that do not promote happiness? We focus so much of our energy on decreasing negativity, but we should also be focusing our time on increasing happiness. Hoffman believes that it is possible to teach techniques and practices that can lead one down the pathway to happiness. The hedonic treadmill. Hedonic adaptation is the tendency to get accustomed to almost everything positive that happens to us in our lives. Happiness is an elusive state because expectations rise with one's possessions and accomplishments. Hedonic adaptation proves to be a formidable obstacle to our happiness because happiness levels drop back to baseline levels quickly, an increased boredom and dissatisfaction with one's life, and encouragement of gluttonous behaviors as we seek those fleeting feelings. Happy chemicals. Dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, and serotonin are the quartet of chemicals responsible for our happiness. Dopamine is an important neurotransmitter that helps regulate our self-esteem, encourages enthusiasm and motivation. Endorphins are important neurotransmitters that help us to alleviate anxiety and depression by combating pain and stress. Oxytocin is a neurotransmitter that allows us to build deep and meaningful relationships with those around us. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that helps us to fight loneliness and depression by making us feel accomplished and important. Hacking our happy chemicals. Since dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, and serotonin are so imperative to our happiness, we should consider the ways in which we can encourage these neurotransmitters to get moving, bringing more happiness into our lives. To encourage the production of dopamine, we can set small, realistic, easily attainable goals for ourselves and celebrate reaching them. Since endorphins are produced during physical activity and laughter, if you are feeling down, take a walk around the block or watch a funny video to increase your endorphin production and improve your happiness. Oxytocin is extremely important in regards to the success of our social relationships. An easy way to kickstart oxytocin production is to simply embrace someone in a hug or give a small gift of appreciation. Serotonin is produced in reaction to feelings of importance and accomplishment. So reflecting on these past experiences is beneficial. Spending just 20 minutes a day in the sun is recommended to help increase serotonin levels as UV rays encourage their production also. Encouraging happiness. There are many simple ways for us to increase our level of happiness. Be available for yourself and your hobbies. Get an adequate amount of sleep. Participate in physical activity every day. Get 20 minutes of sun exposure daily or take vitamin D supplements. Set small, attainable goals for yourself and celebrate even the small achievements as they are steps in the right direction. Focus time and energy on strengthening social relationships rather than collecting physical possessions. Reevaluate the things you have hedonically adapted to so that you can gain new insights and new appreciations for them. Rotate your pleasures, treating yourself to your favorite coffee, spending time with friends, having a date night, doing hobbies. By rotating the things you enjoy and not doing them every day, you will savor and appreciate them even more. In conclusion, I suggest that we all become familiar with the things that truly make us happy and begin using the information provided in this PowerPoint to hack our own happiness and improve our overall well-being. Now that this information is readily available, it is important that we share it with others, family and friends, classmates, children, teachers, co-workers, so that they too can understand the impact that our happiness has on our well-being, and how they can do simple things in their everyday lives in order to increase their levels of happiness.